today and just getting interested in filmmaking. I went to Alfred State College for creative writing and kind of just like started learning and exploring different aspects of filmmaking, which now I direct, write, produce. So I figured the more things that I learn how to do, I can be more of an effective filmmaker. So that's my background, and my latest documentary, I don't know if you guys seen it yet, it's called The Blackness Project, which is also on Amazon Prime, and it discussed, it was another project called The Blackness Project, and it kind of like speaks onto that project with other people being interviewed. And we have
Buffalo, New York. It started at home. I used to go to Sweet Home in high school for like a couple months of my freshman year, and like we all started from Buffalo, and we like rolled now.
Anybody ever heard of Benny the Butcher?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you know Benny, you should know him. I mean, I've been knowing him since like the 90s, and when I tell you hard work and consistency, both of us in our career, it took a lot of that. But any questions or however you want to do it, Lisa?
Go ahead, Mo.
So what do you guys do in Griselda? Because I hear Benny say Griselda.
So Griselda is a record label that Benny happened to be Benny cousin Westside Gun, Elvin Westside Gun owned Griselda Records, and Benny happened to be signed to Griselda Records, but he also owned Black Soprano Film, which is BSF with me.
Hi, Ellie.
Ellie?
What do you consider the most important thing in a product that you make, whether it be a documentary or a music video or just like the music itself?
For me, it's for documentary, it's purpose. So, you know, you have like a lot of films coming out today, and you know, a lot of it is being like washed down, where they're just like looking for a lot of content. My films, personally, I like to feel like I left a mark on the world and talk about maybe uncomfortable topics or things where it's kind of hard to discuss in a regular setting. So when you have forums like this, even when we did the Blackness Project, every time we filmed it, we had a Q&A afterwards. So for me, the most important thing is topic, and then the people that you are interviewing that can obviously carry the story. Anybody else?
Inspiring workers in your field when it comes to working in between projects?
Far as Ben, I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, of course. What advice do you have for aspiring workers in your field when it comes to working in between projects?
Being consistent and just believing in yourself, understanding that your vision is your vision, so everybody not going to be able to see your vision because it's your vision, but you have to convince them, you know what I'm saying, by bringing it to light. Just always believing in yourself and being consistent with your work and doing the research, everything that you got going on, just doing the research and just knowing the pros and the cons of everything.
Like I said, my first film was 2006. So if you're like true to art and true to what you believe, there's going to be a lot of things that will try to deter you or stop you, and you know, even like especially finances. So it's like if sometimes you will have to compromise your art to, you know, to get to the next stage. And my advice is try not to do that at all, because you know, you have to stay true to heart, and everybody may not be able to see a vision, but at the end of the day, you have to like really show and prove. And I can tell you, even back when they was doing regular mixtapes on the street, and you know, just staying consistent year after year, and it was plenty of times where it made sense. It looked like, you know, we should quit and give up and start something else. And it's like people telling us go get a real job kind of thing, and we had to stay true to art.
Okay, so you got that. That's the bigger company. Then you have my company, which is the Black Soprano Family Company. You know what I'm saying? So you got the bigger powerhouse enforcing the smaller powerhouse, but the smaller powerhouse is getting the artists.
Yeah.
So I'm one of the first persons, like actually, like the second company in Buffalo, New York, to get a label deal from homegrown art. But it took 19 years for me to do that. You know what I'm saying? But just being consistent. Like I got a label deal. I put 6 other artists on. I make sure they got double-digit thousands. I moved them out of town. Everybody got jewelry. Everybody got Rolexes. Everybody got cars. Everybody got finances. Everything. My dream came true. You know what I'm saying? But it took 19 years. The self-determination. And then people that I done lost people that got shot, people that got killed, people that went to jail, came home, people that went to jail again. Everything. Just to being consistent, just by believing in myself and just knowing what's the end result's going to be. Now the end results is good. Like I said, everybody's good. They situated. I retired my mom a year and a half ago. She ain't got to work.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Just by be like, There've been times I was frustrated, so frustrated, like, man, I don't want to do this. And told myself I just got to do it in a different type of way instead of just giving up. So it's like, you can't expect different results doing the same thing. So sometimes you just got to reevaluate your situation and just tackle it differently.
And just to recap, just with anything in life, and I don't want to sound preachy, or I'm sure you guys hear this with your parents, your peers, your teachers, but it's so true. Every single day is going to be something in your way to stop you from your goal. And your goal and your job is to fight back.
Right.
And not let that consume you. And things are going to happen beyond your control. But I can tell you one thing, if you have everything else in line, you can prepare yourself better for things that, was beyond your control. So, anyone else?
And like with me, like he was saying, like a 4-hour thing or 8-hour thing. You see us, like he said, it might take years. So with me, it might take months for us to even cultivate a project. You know what I'm saying? Like my artist might want to do a record. This is one song, but we got to get 10 records to make it be an album. So you might can do 10 records in 1 week, but just because you did 10 records in 1 week don't mean it's ready to get released to the public just because you accomplished the task. So it's really about being everything in a timely manner and making sure you get your point across, whether it's 30 days or 6 months or a year. So with us, we just really, I don't think about the process it takes, I think about the end results no matter how long it takes. Because I want to do it right. And like in the music business, I call it, it's called dropping. Like when you drop, it's a release date that your album come out or your CD come out. Or I call it throwing it off the roof. So throwing it off the roof is like going to the top of Empire State Building and just throw it off the Empire State and say, I dropped my album. You know what I'm saying? But my logic is going to like every tall building in New York State. In New York City and dropping an album so it can get more of an impactful feel instead of just dropping a CD somewhere. So we just do it everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And that's just like my logical thinking. Like it's one thing to do it, then it's one thing to do it right. Like you want to do it right. Because you're going to get everything that you want and some more by doing it right instead of rushing it. And you can't never really rush destiny. Because when you rush things, anything that come easy, it'll leave easy. I promise you. You know what I'm saying? If somebody give you $1 million right now, you're like, oh, I just walked out of class, I had $1 million. You're going to get something to your friends, you're going to get your mom, you're going to go buy some Snickers, a car, everything else. Now, if it took you 10 years to get that $1 million, when you get that $1 million, you're like, it took 10 years to get this. I got to do it right by it. You know what I'm saying? So anything that come easy, it'll leave easy. Anything that you work hard for, you know the sacrifice and the dedication that you took, it'll last long. You know what I'm saying? So don't be mad when things don't come easy sometimes. Or don't be mad. Like, I was in college, right? I went to college at 30 years old. I got my GED at 29 years old. So that's a prime example of what he's saying is like, do what you need to do now so you ain't got to be playing catch up. I just started saving money, like he said, when you're 40. I'm 38 years old. I just started saving real money like 3-4 years ago. You know what I'm saying? But if I would have took care of everything I needed to take care of at your age, I would have been successful at 29 instead of 39. But just by being consistent and being dedicated to myself. Not only that, like I said, like I was in class, right, in college. I was the oldest dude in there. I was going to everybody y'all age, just got out of high school and everything. I'm like the old man in the room, you know what I mean? I know everybody come there like, he messed up at like, I'm thinking to myself like, I did. So prime example, if I failed the test, right? I won't be mad or nothing if I failed the test or exam. I say, I ain't studied hard enough because the proof is in the pudding. It's something that I overwhelmed looking over because it might have been outside the book. Life was getting at me. And I would have paid more attention to my book. I would have been able to complete that task. So anytime I failed the exam, I always make sure I took that class right over and I aced that exam because I paid attention. I wasn't paying attention to the proof in the pudding, being sidetracked. And sometimes our best friends can be distractions. A TV show can be a distraction. Just staying up late can be a distraction. Not even wanting to go to bed because you're tired. And then 7 in the morning when you get up, you do not want to go to class. You're tired. You're frustrated. You're mad. But if you went to bed at the timely manner, you're fresh, you're rebooted, you shower up, you're ready for the world. So it's just really about planning ahead and just knowing what you have to do to get what you never had. I tell people that all the time. You got to do what you never did to get what you never had. So if you want a house or you want the big mansion, what did you do to get it? You didn't do nothing. You didn't work hard enough. You want that car, you didn't do nothing. You didn't work hard enough. But it's all there. They make new houses every day. They make new cars every day. The jewelry store can keep getting gold every day. So whatever you can't do now, don't feel like you frustrated or you in a rush to get it because it's not going nowhere. I promise y'all, it's not going nowhere. And when you get it, it's gonna last longer. You know what you had to do to keep it.
Anybody else?
For both of you, like, what is one of your favorite projects?
Mine will always be my first project because it really opened my eyes to what I can really do, and I had to like get out of my comfort zone. So without that project, I feel like I wouldn't be where I'm at today, and that was called The Forgotten City, which I told you guys about earlier. It completely changed my life. I was trying to go to school. I was distracted by other things, like you said, with friends and streets and just the environment that we come from. I was kind of all over the place. And when I finally said, okay, I'm gonna really put everything that I have into this project. I know I can write. I know I'm not a dummy. I got good grades, and it's just me applying myself. So when my friend, he went to LA to study filmmaking. His name is Addison. He has a movie out now in it's actually on Showtime, but it was in theaters. And I said, I'm gonna really do this. I had a little bit of money saved up. He came back home, bought a camera. We took some classes at Squeaky Will, and it just really catapulted me to like, this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. I like the feeling that it brings. I like that I'm able to, help the world and give different opinions and objectives, and it really changed my life.
One of my biggest projects that I think it was actually had to be this year because, like I said, I had a label deal. I moved to Atlanta. I had the house. I had everything. But what I didn't have is a home front back in Buffalo. So now I have a 10,000 square feet facility for my artists to record, a recording studio. I have a photo lab. I have a merch department. I have everything. That was my biggest project, just to bring everything in one roof. So I can have a home-based situation and bring my headquarters back to Buffalo after moving to Atlanta and getting a record deal, and then coming back home and making sure I can bring my peoples over us and giving us that type of facility that is all under one roof. So just getting the warehouse, securing the warehouse, securing the compound, securing the facility, I think is my biggest project. So I ain't gotta ask nobody for nothing. I can just go to my own space and do whatever I want to do.
Anybody else?
What's the favorite piece of media that you both love that made you know this is what I want to do for the rest of my life?
Piece of media, far as
It could be documentary, movie,
Mine's
person,
was-
actor.
Mine was
I gotta think about that.
Mine was BET, watching everybody on the videos, with the car, the house, everything. Like, oh shoot, this is what it's gonna be like. Watching. I'm a little older, so they used to have like 106 Park. They used to have like Rap City. I'm just glued to the TV, like, oh my God, this really what it looked like. And just knowing, like, I want to live like that. Like, all means necessary. Whatever I gotta do, as long as I ain't gotta kill nobody, or ain't gotta steal from nobody, I'm living like that. That was my biggest motivation. I'm not gonna lie, just watching music videos and watching how they look and watching big old lobster tails cracking them and jet skis. I'm like, no, I gotta live like that. I got to. No, I got to. I'm not working at the Buffalo Zoo. I ain't out the doodle under the cage. I'm not doing that.
For me, it was just growing up at a time where it was like the first of everything. So like watching certain films where it was like, Minister Society, Jews, Higher Learning. It was like a lot of films, even House Party. I had a wide range and a love for filmmaking, but it was, I think, like 2004 or 5. Michael Moore, I don't know if you're familiar with the documentary maker, filmmaker Michael Moore. He did a project called Bowling for Columbine, and when I watched it, he did like such a good job, and it was so detailed. I said, I want to show people where I come from. I want to get them to understand, like, it's a lot different over here opposed to just, seeing the African American on the news, especially when I was coming up. Only time we seen, like, people that look like us, it wasn't in a good light. Or you can see on cops running through the screen, or they interview after something happened and it becomes almost like a parody. But I wanted to show it's a different side, and just because where you come from doesn't necessarily mean you have to be of your circumstances, but life is unfair sometimes. and even born in your situation, some things are out of your control, but for the most part, for the things that you can control and can facilitate, you can make a difference. And that doesn't mean you even, it could be something small. Even if we reach 1 or 2 of you today, that's us doing our job and passing it along, because I had people telling me the same thing along the way, and sometimes you listen, sometimes you don't, but at the end of the day, it's all about how you carry yourself, and I wanted to just kind of show that with filmmaking.
And I feel like not only that, I be feeling like if nobody gonna believe in you, you always believe in yourself. And your biggest competition is the person in the mirror. So you're not trying to play catch up of the other kids more fortunate or other people. You just work on yourself. And then, like I said before, like anything in life, it's supposed to be hard. It's gonna be hard. I swear to God, it's gonna be so hard. But it don't have you give up, because when you give up, you just give up. And it's not supposed to be like that. And life gonna throw all types of different trials and tribulations at you. Even like I said, I was 29, going to get a GED, embarrassed. I already been a homeowner. I already had me a car. I already been everything. I done lost things making bad investments and believing in people. And then I look up, I don't have nothing. But I could have had a nervous breakdown, gave up. It's over. Work at Walmart, packing up y'all groceries. I said, nah, I'm gonna go be embarrassed. Go get a GED. Just by being self-determination, by wanting it, by feeling it, by touching it. It was friends. I have friends that was selling drugs. I have friends that had way more money. Like, oh, come over here, come sell some drugs. I'm like, no, I'm good, boy. They had money. Like, when I say money in small, they probably had millions. They probably had cars and everything, telling me, like, come over here. Anybody else would have been easy influenced. I'm like, no, I'm going to school. I look up now, 7 years later, all my friends that were selling drugs, all of them in jail. All of them. Everybody that looked down on me like, yo, you about to go get a GED or you about to go to school, all of them in jail. Tomorrow send me $50 or $100. Somebody that had way more money than me, now they need $50 and $100, pushing their freedom. You know what I'm saying? So that even for the kids, you might think it's an easy fix. A friend might come get you, yo, bro, let's go break into this house. I know some money up in there. Then you walk up in there, you might get killed. You know what I'm saying? Everybody thought it was an easy money. Or it might be the other way around. You might say, I don't want to go up in the house and let the money move and your friend got killed. And you could have been in that predicament. So it's just about making the wise decisions for you in the long run, not temporary relief. And I always say, like, I don't want to risk my freedom for temporary riches if I'm working on long-term work. You know what that mean? Anybody know what that mean? That mean temporary riches mean I can have a bag of money right now, right? But it's just this time next year I'm not going to have that money. But I could wait a year later and I won't have no money. I might wait 2 years and I might have no money. But the next 3 years I'm going to have money for the rest of my life. And that temporary riches is gone. You know what I'm saying? But now I worked on my future. I worked on my kids' foundation. I'm the first generation of generational wealth. You know what that means?
Yeah.
Anybody know what that means?
Like you broke out of the cycle of being broke in your family.
Okay. No, talk about it. And it's not even about being broke, because broke is a mental state of mind. You know what I'm saying?
Like you made it out the matrix, basically.
Okay.
Out the matrix.
So what I mean is like this. Generational wealth is not having to work from check to check, hopefully for you to get by making certain investments, by buying properties or investing in certain companies or investing in stocks and things like that. So even when I die, I can die right now. My kids won't have more money than me because I set the foundation for them to have the money, which my parents didn't do for me. And not only that, life insurance policies, making sure they got a certain amount of money. Making sure not even about just the life insurance policy, but structuring it so they don't just get all money. They have to go through certain trials and tribulations to get certain amounts of money and have to complete certain tasks in certain trade schools. So, and I realized like a lot of us is working on that. And that's kind of hard. And it's definitely hard when you don't have a blueprint or you don't have money management, financial literacy, things of that nature, and people just be stuck. But we have to reevaluate, retrain ourselves. That couldn't be my excuse. Like, my dad didn't give me nothing. My mom didn't give me nothing. I don't got nothing. I could have easily went like that. But I thought bigger, the bigger picture. What they didn't do for me, I'm going to do for my kids and make sure my kids do it for their kids. And just breaking the cycle instead of making excuses that never been done before.
Anyone else?
Ross, you mentioned you went to Sweet Home?
Huh?
You went to Sweet
I
Home?
went to Sweet Home.
Ninth grade?
9th grade.
When was that?
99. It was a minute ago.
It was a minute ago.
Yo,
Just to,
me coming in here today, I swear to God, me coming in here today made me realize how much the world has changed and the world's changed all the time. I probably was like the third black guy in the building.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In 99, I was the third black guy in the building. And I had got caught up, like, where we come from so fortunate. So I just got caught up in the raid. With the raid, they found the gun. So I come to Sweet Home. I'm a black kid in the middle of the east side of Buffalo. I got raised in the black crusty, ankle bracelet on. I'm in Sweet Home. I did not fit in. I swear, I feel like I ain't fit in. I swear to God, I ain't fit in. I used to come in here. I used to come in class. I'm like, I ain't like Sweet Home. But what I did like about Sweet Home, I'm not even gonna lie. I liked the programs that they had. I liked it, like, if I wanted to play field hockey, I can play field hockey. If I wanted to join the chess club, I can join the chess club. If I wanted to play football, okay, they got football, but they got junior varsity and they got varsity. I'm like, damn, Sweet Home lit. Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I go to the lunch. They had 2-3 different options. I'm like, damn, this shit like Dawson's Creek. Excuse my language. But that's how I was feeling. I'm like, yo, this really like a TV high school. Coming from where I come from, yo, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my God. Kids is driving to school.
We come from school 11.
We in high school. We still get picked up and dropped off like cheese. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I ain't feel like I fit in. It just was too perfect. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. It was just too perfect. I used to be bad kids, cutting out of school, doing stuff, everything else. I came to Sweet Home. It was like Dawson's Creek. Like, I swear, like you gotta Google Dawson's Creek.
That's a little bit before your time. That's a little bit before your time.
Anybody in here know Dawson's Creek?
You know, I know. Okay. Yeah. So look. Yo, so I went to Sweet Home, right? So I used to go to Sweet Home. I went to Sweet Home for like 3 months. I lived in Williamsville on Frank Hauser. My dad had ended up inheriting my grandmother's house in Williamsville. So when I got in trouble in the city of Buffalo, like they released me to my dad and I ended up going to Sweet Home. But I felt like the kids used to be mean to me. But they used to be mean because they like, look at him over there, he got that bracelet on, look at him, them braids on, what is it doing? I'm like, yo, I ain't like the way they had felt. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, after 3 months, I told my dad I ain't gonna go to Sweet Home anymore. So I ended up going right back to the ghetto, east side of Buffalo high schools. So went through trials and tribulations. 10 years later, I probably was like 28, right before I got my GED. Then I realized that Sweet Home got the good football team, the Panthers, the Sweet Home Panthers, winning all types of championships, everything. And then I realized I'll be want to tell everybody, you know, I used to go to Sweet Home, right? Or like, I used to think about like now all my kids in the suburbs, they go to different schools, all in the suburbs and everything else. And then sometimes I realize like I made a bad decision leaving Sweet Home. Because I felt like you are your peers, and I feel like some of my peers is more successful in life than my other peers in the east side of Buffalo public schools. And I feel like it would have helped influence me, for me not to become more successful, but far as like to be more positive in my approach with certain things. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all might even hate Sweet Home like I used to. But when you realize that you're fortunate and you're really blessed in the options, because they take you somewhere in the middle or the east side of Buffalo, where the school district's not that much, and the parents ain't paying that much taxes, y'all very blessed to even be at Sweet Home. Y'all very, very blessed. Believe me, y'all is blessed. Y'all still got them 2-3 different lunch options? A word! Yeah! Y'all still got them cheese buses dropping y'all off and picking y'all up? Oh, man, you got it right! See, me, freshman year, east side of Buffalo, I gotta walk to the bus stop. But everybody else scared of Freshman Friday. Hoping I don't get jumped on the corner or it don't rain on me. I don't have to go through that. That school bus gonna pick y'all right at the corner at your house, right?
Yep.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? So y'all blessed. Y'all probably even hate the cheese bus. Like, no, I hate getting on this bus and everything. But just think about going to the train station on the east side of Buffalo, when it's 28 degrees outside and it's probably 12 inches of snow. So hopping on that school bus ain't that bad. I'm trying to tell y'all, it's really not that bad.
Do we got any other questions? We're good. So
Korey, we're
You got
gonna.
one,
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so I wanted to ask, how do you guys gather like a group of people to help you produce something? Like, what is the qualities you look for?
So first it started with me just like trying to have my friends do it and like them learn. And you're gonna run into a lot of problems if someone doesn't have passion to do that. And even if they may stick around temporarily because it may be like fun and exciting or like a new idea. I like to get with people that's already in the field where they already have ambition and knowing what they're doing. So when I first started out, like I said, I just like used my friends. I had them holding boom mics, taking editing classes and lighting classes and us buying the equipment, reading the directions and just trying to like learn right on the spot as we're doing it. And later in my career, I just like to be around people that, I don't even have to say, they don't have to tell me what to do. Everybody's, pretty much an expert in their field because they have that. But for you starting off, you're going to have to start within your circle. So if you want to put together, a short film or a short documentary, you got to get with someone else who, wants to hold a camera, or if you want to direct or write. Just being in those right circles could really take you to that next level.
Far as with my field, it's the same thing like he said. You always start off with your friends. But you only start off with your friends because they convenient, they right there. But the more you trying to complete your task, the friends gonna fall off. Because this, like I was saying to you earlier, because it's your vision. Your friends is there because they're your friends. They with whatever you with. If you want to go play the video game, they gonna play the video game. If you want to play dodgeball, they gonna play dodgeball. If you want to shoot a music video, they gonna shoot a music video. But that don't mean they gonna do it right. So sometimes we just use who we have around us, and the more consistency that we are in our field, whether it be filming or music or making clothes, anything, the world will gravitate people towards you. I don't know how that works, but it just ended up working like that. But the more you consistent, whatever you doing, it like the world brings certain people in the universe, and they just come around and they help you fill in the blanks. That's really how that is for me. Because most of my staff, I run $1 million companies, a couple $1 million companies. Out of my companies, I probably have 0 friends that work for me. And because I learned strangers work more harder than friends though too. Because strangers don't want to mess up. Your friends feel like they can't mess up. You get what I'm saying? And strangers feel like they want to serve a purpose more in your life, and to fill the void, then your friends just inherit the purpose. So sometimes in life, you do want to hire your friends, but really, you really don't want to hire your friends.
But then it's like growth. So if we started a project, I feel like, okay, if I was an inventor, I had things to learn, and we completed that project, you go into the next one. Then you can pay attention and see who learned more, and who was doing anything which would be considered like the off work or off season when you guys weren't filming or weren't doing anything when you guys came back. Who took the time to elevate and get better in their craft? And some people will just stay right where you left them, and that's how it's easy to know who you need to be around. The people that's continue to elevate and get better year after year, you want to surround yourself with those people, because sometimes just being in a wrong crowd, negative crowd, or even, no ambition, it can really rub off. So, you have to be very careful on who you choose as, spending your time with. And I was talking to my buddy on the way here, giving up Jamal Lewis. He runs the Buffalo Green Room and Make the Moment. And we were talking about what would we want if we were, if the shoe was on the other foot and we were back in school. I want somebody to tell me about self-inflicted wounds. You can avoid them. And that comes with, whether it's being in a relationship too early, pregnancy, or, dropping out of school, or, not even listening to your mentors. There's a lot of things you can really skip by just listening. And, just taking time and giving yourself the time and space to be creative and do what you really want to do in life. Because like I said, things are going to happen beyond your control. And you just got to really prepare yourself and be strong-minded and be a strong individual, because let's just face it, we live in America. You're going to have to pay bills. Death and taxes is the only thing that's certain. So
Guaranteed.
so make
Guaranteed.
sure, of course, enjoy yourself, but not to the point where it's costing you your future.
Okay, so we're going to be looking at documentary, particularly his documentary, Korey's documentary. It is gonna bring up some touchy subjects.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay,
Maybe
so-
I'll come back in a couple months. I really wish you guys seen the project first, because it's a lot of things. One thing I like to do in my films is shock value. I don't want to sugarcoat anything or pretend it's not as such. So it's going to be some tough scenes, and I think it will create a strong dialogue amongst everyone.
Definitely. What class is this right here?
This is mass media, it's an elective for 10th,
Okay.
11th, and 12th graders.
So they picked this class?
They wanna be here.
Oh, okay. So y'all news anchors and
Yeah, I want to see what, like, you
video
know,
photographers.
who's the directors
and-
here? Any directors, future directors, writers,
You, writers,
producers?
producers, yeah.
What else we got?
This
For
what
the actors? We got an actor? All right. I got a casting call coming up soon.
you know what I want to do? Even with us, it's like I'm not gonna lie. Ever since I was a kid, I'm not gonna lie. I always said I wanted to be what I am today. Like I just wanted to be a businessman. I ain't know really what business I was gonna do, but I know I just used to watch TV. He always have a car. He always have a suit. He have a briefcase. People move out his way. They like, what do you do? He's a businessman. I'm like, damn, I want to be a businessman. All the movies in the 90s, I don't want it to be a businessman. So I want to go around the room and ask everybody, what do they want to be when they grow up? Because you can be anything. You can run the world. You can be Elon Musk. You can be a billionaire. You can be a trillionaire. You can run a country. You can build factories. You can build a car. So starting with you over there in
Okay,
the
we
corner.
got 2 minutes, go.
2 minutes, go.
Huh?
Nurse.
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 What do you wanna do, Xander?
Anything.
Come on, Xander.
Huh? Okay, gamer. You gamer. Okay, talk about it.
Assistant, all right.
Graphic designer.
Graphic designer. We need people like you.
Film director,
Okay.
All right.
Content creator.
I like it.
engineering,
I like it, all right.
teacher,
Teacher.
third grade teacher.
Teacher.
Good.
Lawyer. Okay, now. Journalist. Filmmaker.
Okay.
Teacher. Okay. Lock them up.
Lawyer.
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 Content creator.
Content creator. Movie director.
Yep.
Nice.
No, producer.
Producer.
Engineer.
Engineer.
Lawyer.
Lawyer.
Flight nurse.
Flight nurse.
Content creator.
Content.
Artist.
Artist.
Media manager, business owner, cinematographer.
Just know y'all can be anything y'all want to be.
Future is looking
Never
good.
let nobody say y'all can't.
I'm gonna check up to see if you guys achieve those goals.
We gonna resign that question.
And then play it back for us.
That's right.
You guys have a great day. Thanks for having me.
Hey, let's thank Korey and Ross for coming in. Jamal too.